Hey guys, hope you're doing really well. Welcome to Talk Crypto. I'm doing it a little bit hands-free today, so trying a different style rather than walking around with it. Really appreciate all your likes and subscribes that you guys are giving me. Really appreciate it. Obviously, new channel, so all the support that you can give me is massively appreciated. As ever, this is a one take, no editing, just literally me talking to you. And throwing it onto YouTube. So trying to grab time when I can in the day and trying to give you value, trying to share some of my perspectives and thoughts, and hopefully we can sort of maybe learn a few things together. Also today did my 1 day $1 Bitcoin challenge where a couple of videos ago I was explaining I'm going to start doing that, which really is a sort of a long term thing with the anticipation that many of you probably think this is complete madness, but when eventually one sat equals $1, and I'll let you do the math to figure out how much Bitcoin would be when that happens. But it's a 10-year sort of I guess plan, and it was something I've been talking about, DCAing, even if it's a little bit of money, just do it, just keep building your pot, start thinking about your money and your wealth in terms of Bitcoin and sats, not in terms of dollars, pounds, euros, yuan, whatever currency you happen to use on a daily basis. So thinking about just accumulating your sats, accumulating your Bitcoin, and thinking about your wealth in those terms, not in dollar terms. So for me, I'm just I've been DCAing for a long time now, but this is something separate, which is just literally $1 a day that I'm DCing in and reporting really back. As occasionally, I'm not going to do a video all the time about it, but just to let you know, today I bought, and it was 1,963 sats. Yesterday was quite interesting. It was 1919, so 1,919 sats. And what else is going on? Of course, well, the market's been going down. You know what? It's funny. There's all these videos, and I don't want to be that guy who goes, "Oh, come on, don't worry. You'll be all right." I know you're going to be all right. Okay, so if you're following this channel, it's all about having a long-term horizon, a long-term perspective, and ignoring these ups and downs. It's like it's complete irrelevance. So it's funny, but it's always worth, I guess, again for historical reference, looking back in historical. Videos is quite fun to do. If you've ever seen some of the old Bitcoin videos, it just is mind-blowing. So when we look back in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, 20 years' time, and I say, everyone's freaking out because Bitcoin's gone down to, I don't know, what is it, 62,000 from, a week or 2 weeks ago when it was 73. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna go, what were we worried about? Oh my God, if I knew what I knew now. So let's, I know you guys aren't going to be worried about it. This is an opportunity, particularly with DCA strategy that I'm deploying, is just to keep accumulating, because actually when prices go down, it means you can get more sats and more Bitcoin. So actually is beneficial short term. Long term, we know what's going to happen, so it's not even a concern. So yeah, bought my $1 Bitcoin today, 1,963, I think I said it was. So that's quite interesting. So whether that turns out to one day being $1,963, again, we'll see. I might be completely wrong. So, but it's a little bit of a, I talk it, so I think I should also walk the walk as well. Guys, the other thing I wanted to pick up on is really thinking, it's really how the exponential, I guess, growth of Bitcoin is going to sort of happen, and in terms of it eating up every asset class. Obviously with the ETFs, that's been absolutely phenomenal, and I don't think we're really getting started, if I'm honest with you. I think this is still super early days, so it's going to be really interesting, and this will be something that obviously carries on. There's also applications to the pipeline for more generic ETF cryptos, which will mean all the hedge fund boys or girls and regular mainstream investors will be able to get involved with more sort of other crypto projects. But that's not really my point. Really, my point is this: is Bitcoin is revolutionizing so many things, and obviously it's eating away at other asset classes. And what I mean by that is, I think people are going to start questioning whether, do I actually buy that second property as an investment? Do I buy that stock? Do I buy gold? Do I, whatever the other sort of investment is, do I play that, or actually do I just buy more Bitcoin? So I can see how Bitcoin is just going to absorb a lot more capital that would have otherwise gone into other asset classes. And I can see that in myself, in terms of, I'm sort of thinking, okay, well, and this is particularly pertinent. Let me just rewind slightly, because I've come from financial services background, and but specifically within the mortgage world, within the property world, property investor market, all that type of thing. And I'm an investor myself in property and things like this. And it's something that you start questioning and go, actually, okay, well, property is a massive pain in the arse, or can be. Depends again, the type of investments that you're doing. But certainly you can't sort of easily get rid of it. There's usually taxes of some sort. There's tenants to deal with. There's maintenance. There's upkeep. There's a lot to consider over and above just as an investment. Of course, there's other investments, but from the property world, I can certainly see people questioning whether, okay, well, I've got 10 grand, 20 grand. Do I put that as a deposit for a property, or do I actually buy some Bitcoin, which, if the trajectory continues, is going to way outperform not just property, but every single asset class that's ever been in existence in the world. And I think particularly younger people, are going to be questioning, especially when they're struggling to get into the housing market. It's really difficult to get a deposit together, and it's really, and obviously we've seen with first-time buyers, the age of a first-time buyer becoming older and older and older. Property prices are continuing to sort of, get out of reach for many of them, and we all know why. Obviously money printing and inflation. And the government's just constantly sort of pumping out more money. They say inflation's, at, I don't know, whatever percentage it is. It's just, it's a bit of a joke, but we all know that actually that's not the reality. When you go into your supermarket, when you go and fill your car up with fuel, inflation's not at 5, 7, or whatever the percentage is. It's way above that. And we all know, again, why. It's because the huge debts governments are in, and it's a way for them to deflate their debts, basically. They're trying to sort of arbitrage and kick the can down the road to let somebody else worry about it. And obviously they're on sort of an election cycle that they want to keep out, give them freebies to people, keep on giving out free money, and it's an easier way to win votes. Now, because of that, obviously assets tend to go hugely up, and that's what we're seeing, isn't it? We're seeing with property prices continue to go up. It doesn't make any sense, but this tends to happen when there's a huge amount of stimulus within the money printing. So the problem is, of course, young people are getting left behind. Young people can't afford to get onto the property ladder. It's getting harder and harder. Where once upon a time you might have only needed yourself and a deposit to get on the property ladder, now, unless you're a couple and you can sort of pull your joint incomes together to get that big mortgage, you're going to again struggle. So I can certainly see the younger generation going, actually, I'm going to opt out of this traditional legacy financial landscape and go, that's not serving me. What pensions? What's the point in that? ISAs, really, invest in property. That was always the thing to do. Certainly, up until now, I would say, literally up until now. So, people are going to go, okay, well, I haven't got 10 grand for a deposit. I haven't got 20 grand for a deposit. I haven't got 50 grand, 100 grand, whatever the deposit is, because A, I can't save it. I've got to pay rent, or I haven't got, a rich parent, grandparent who can help me out. So what do I do? Okay, well, actually, I could possibly invest even a small amount in this exponential new opportunity, technology, new monetary system that opts out, is decentralized, and can give me the potential for a huge upside. Now, I don't think obviously that shift in terms, and I don't think it's just the first time buyers, by the way, and if we just look back since the last cycle, 2020 with 2024, so peak 2025, whatever, that 5-year time period. So a kid who was 15 is now potentially going to be 20. They're going to be aware of crypto. My kids, they're aware of it already. And I think as we have this wave of new generation coming into the workplace, into the job market, into thinking about their future, are they going to opt for that traditional financial services model that's existed, that I'm very familiar with and I've left? I don't think so. I don't think it talks to them. I don't think it appeals to them. I don't think it offers them the opportunities that possibly our parents may have had. And again, that's all. If you want one channel, I'm sure some of you will be aware, some of you might not be, is Real Vision. They talk a lot about the macroeconomic landscape and explaining why these things are happening. Why are governments printing so much money? What's the consequences of that? And certainly from my perspective, coming from a financial services background, I'm very acutely aware of it and I can see it. It's such a shame, and I just feel that's possibly the problem with where society is going. It's becoming fragmented because people are just getting poorer and poorer and poorer, and people don't know why they're angry or why they're frustrated, and we're being deflected with, obviously, I'm getting a bit political here, but I think the reality is we're often getting distracted with left versus right, with this and that, and everyone getting angry, but ultimately we're getting distracted from the reality of the matter, and that is just the monetary policy that governments across the world are deploying. And that's just debasing currencies. So I think people are going to be looking at Bitcoin and other crypto assets more and more as a complete alternative to the traditional system. And this is where I think Bitcoin particularly will start gobbling up the money, that would have otherwise been deployed into another property, a holiday let, a buy-to-let, whatever it is. I think people are going to go, actually, do I really want to go and buy that other investment property? Yes, it's going to do well, but it's probably not good. Well, I don't think it will do anywhere near as well as what Bitcoin will in the long term. Of course, there's the short-term volatility, of course, and I understand it's not potentially as tangible. I don't know what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to continue to diversify into property and crypto. It's a challenge, it's a dilemma. Of course, crypto could all go to zero, and obviously, if you've gone all in a particular asset class, there's a huge risk there. So you probably want to just sort of spread your bets a little bit. But I think people are gonna, Bitcoin is gonna be the seventh wonder of the world. I think it literally is going to absorb money that would have otherwise gone into other assets, other opportunities, here, there, and people are going to go, hang on a second, yeah, actually, I could just buy some Bitcoin, stick it on a ledger. There's no geographical restrictions. It's decentralized. I'm not going to get taxed on owning it. I got my council tax bill the other day on my home, and it's like, really? Is that much? It's like everything's going up. It's crazy. You just get taxed to live. So I know that's slightly different from an investment property because you've got tenants on this. Anyway, we won't go there. But listen, I think this is, we are so, again, going back to my point, we are so early. If you're watching this video, if you're invested in crypto, if you're thinking about investing in Bitcoin, we are still so early. We're going to look back in this time and go, wow, what an incredible moment. So, do what I'm doing. Don't go crazy. Just start dipping your toe into it. Just start exploring it. You often have to hear these things several times before you actually pull the trigger. I first heard about Bitcoin in, I think it was 2012. Didn't do anything. 2017. Oh yeah, came back on my radar, thought about doing something, but I didn't. So it wasn't until 2020 that I can't remember what the trigger point was, but it came back on my radar. I phoned my friend up, another guy called Ben. Hi Ben, if you're watching. He's over in Thailand. Hope you're doing well. We need to catch up. And I said, oh, mate, it's a bit, what do you think? He says, yeah, I've been thinking about it as well. And it's one of those things when you're doing it by yourself, it's quite hard to motivate yourself to actually do it. It's like when you go for a run and it's rainy and wet and cold and you're by yourself and no one's going to make you do it and only you can do it, and then you go, oh, sorry, maybe I'll just stay in and have a cup of tea. So you've got to self-motivate yourself, or maybe do it with a friend who can, you can sort of bounce off and learn from, and it is a little bit scary when you first do things for the first time, but just take your time. Don't go crazy. Don't, just do your research, read, watch videos, and just start dipping your toe in. And the more you do, the more comfortable you get, and the easier it becomes. So listen, guys, I think Bitcoin is going to absorb so much capital that would have gone into other assets. And I think we are at a very, very early stage. And listen, guys, that's enough. I've been yabbering on far too long. Really appreciate it. If you've got this far, please give us a like. It's literally cost nothing. Just go like, and comment. Brilliant, amazing. And you know what? Subscribe. It'd be fantastic. This all helps me on this journey to help you. If I'm getting love, then it will sort of give me energy to sort of do this more. Hope you like the new background. But like I said, I tend to do these videos one take, wherever I am, wherever I can get 5 minutes. So sometimes it's in the car, sometimes I'm walking, sometimes I'm sitting down, sometimes I'm here. But I quite like the background, so let me know what you think. And keep tuned in, and we'll catch up maybe tomorrow. Cheers.